Hi, I'm Lauren Westwood. Welcome to my vlog, which is a guide on how to structure, write, and edit a novel. Last time we discussed that all-important pillar of novel construction, which is character. So hopefully you may have put down on paper some of the key elements of your main character that we talked about, such as defining their goals and working on, really getting inside of their head. This is really important to today's post because it relates directly to the character's problems and obstacles that they face. If you're really inside your character's head, then you can know exactly how they will react to situations that they face, because in essence, their problems become your problems. So our output for the end of today's session is going to be a two-column list of bullet points. So the first column you're going to label problem, and the second column you're going to label reaction. For now, I'm going to be assuming that you have one main character, but if you do have more than one, you might well want to do a list for each. So that way, as we delve into the plot of the novel going forward, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be setting up a character's goals and then thwarting them. So that is your basic job as an author. So when I'm writing a book for, let's say, 6 months or a year or even longer than that, I like to get to know my characters, so well that it's almost like they're friends or family. And it's sad when things go wrong, but generally the rule is to love your characters, but don't be too nice. You can't have a story or a novel without having your characters suffer problems or have obstacles that get in the way of their goals. I mean, you could think of Cinderella. It's a nice story. You could have a story that has a girl who gets an invitation to the ball. She dances with the prince. She falls in love. They get married. Happily ever after, the end. That's a story. It's got a beginning, a middle, and an end. It's also kind of a boring story. So what I like to think about is, the great film director Alfred Hitchcock says that drama is life with the dull bits cut out. So, we're happy for Cinderella if she has a nice, happy life, but we become more interested in her when she's downtrodden, living in a kitchen with an evil stepmother, and she turns into a pumpkin at midnight, leaves the glass slipper behind. So it's only as Cinderella begins encountering obstacles and has to start solving problems that her story really starts to come to life. So when you're beginning to structure your novel, you certainly aren't going to know every twist and turn up front. But if you've set up your character and your character has a clear goal, then you can start thinking about the key obstacles that he or she will encounter in reaching that goal. So that's what we're going to talk about. And I'm going to use as an example my first novel that I published, Finding Home. And in this novel, the main character, Amy Wood, she's constantly encountering problems. She finds her perfect flat and that she wants to move in with her boyfriend, and then she immediately discovers that her boyfriend is cheating on her. She loses this, what she thinks is her perfect job, and she has to move home with her parents. She takes a new job, which is all she can find, which is as an estate agent. And this opens up a whole new set of problems for her. She falls in love with this derelict mansion that she's supposed to sell called Rosemont Hall. So as each problem gets solved, a new one crops up. Now, I certainly didn't know what all these were up front, but if I was starting to make a list, the key thing is not necessarily to know all the obstacles up front, but what we need to know is whatever happens, we're really interested in the character's reaction to it. So think of it kind of as a cause and effect. The character encounters a certain problem, she will therefore take a certain action. And with this cause and effect chain, certain problems are solved and new ones arise, and the character's goal changes as a result of this. So another example, sort of using finding home, is this goal problem resolution. So Amy wants to find a flat, but then boyfriend is cheating on her. Amy dumps him. Amy moves home. She needs to find a job. She finds a job as an estate agent. She gets stuck in. She takes job. She wants to become the top salesperson, but she's really only a receptionist. She takes on marketing a property that no one else wants to do. She finds a buyer for Rosemont Hall, only to find out that it's someone who wants to turn it into a golf course, which is when she thinks that it ought to be restored. So she now needs to find another buyer. So anyway, so as each obstacle crops up, Amy reacts to it. And this leads to her setting new goals throughout the course of the novel. And this is how you ramp up the action towards the climax. So once again, the important thing is you don't need to know all about it up front. But if you have a basic idea of some of the milestone scenes that you're heading towards, then definitely jot those down. But once again, remember, we're always focusing on the character's behavior, his or her thoughts, reactions, and the things that happen to that character. So this is why it really helps to know your character inside out, be in their head, and know exactly how they'll react. And this adds authenticity. So remember, love your characters, but don't be too nice. So my next post is going to be on resolutions and endings. Thank you very much for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, please do leave a comment or share it. Thanks very much.